Well, welcome back everybody then to the single-seater playthrough in Motorsport Manager. And a fantastic result last time out from Eckert, taking, I think, the second win of her career, maybe. I guess we probably could fact-check that quickly. Third win, so she's taken one win every single season since she joined the team then. Actually, no, she didn't take a win in her opening season. But anyway, it was a great result. And it means that she's now top of the table in terms of the Drivers' Championship. And we got a demanding 13-point lead in the Constructors. Now, of course, we put the difficulty up now. Because it does seem to have got a bit easy the last few races. So, not entirely sure what kind of effect that's going to have. But I guess we will find out this race. Or the aggregate of the next few races anyway. Hopefully it's going to make it a little bit tougher. But we will still be going for that title, even if we don't want to go up in to the next division until next season. Then the prize money will still come in handy, of course. So, pit crew, one mistake last time out. That seems to have been from Marquez, probably due to the stamina. One thing I had noticed with these is their mistake chance goes up quite a lot, depending on their stamina. So it's a direct relation, really, between the stamina and the chance of a mistake. So we need to get Marquez out. Now I think probably Rivero would be best. So I'm just getting confused here which ones. Oh, these two are the ones that needed for fixing. So maybe we put Rivero for Marquez, and then we swap Marquez out for Paul, and then we'll swap Gulab out for Fleming. I think that's the best balance of the guys we've got. Don't really feel the need to get anybody else on board at the moment. There's nobody that good available anyway. We'll keep an eye on that each time. But let's get on with the episode for today anyway then. We of course got that vote coming up on the brakes, which hopefully won't be swung by the well, it's not Jean Todt in this one, is it? It's like a fake Bernie Eccleston. Every time I seem to initiate a vote, it's always failed by the governing body because it's a draw. So reliability looking much better on most of the parts now. We've got a second gearbox coming, so I suppose we should probably switch that performance over to the brakes. Seem to have the biggest potential for increasing. And reliability is pretty good, apart from that gearbox, obviously the new gearbox, which we need to get up. So I think we'll go quite heavily in terms of performance. Because we've got a lot of parts, to be honest, that are nowhere near their maximum yet. And I'm wondering if we should maybe halt development and save some money for next year. Tom Monroe for a while now. I feel he's a perfect example of good clean values. We could add the personality trait, publicity porn, and get... Oh, that will cost us $500,000. Or boost his morale. Now, we've got this vote coming up, and I really want it to pass because it will save us quite a bit of money next year. From not having to develop the brakes, and we'll also, you know, close the grid up a bit. Even if we win the championship, I think I am now set on staying in this division next year, just so that we can build the HQ. This is such a risk. We've already spent $1 million on this vote. I just know it's going to draw or something again. That extra vote might swing it. It seems like a stupid thing to do, but I'm going to do it. We normally spend more than $1.5 million on brakes, don't we? Maybe. I don't know. We've done it anyway. That should give us, I think, 4 votes for this one then. So we shall use all of them, and hopefully it will go in our favour this time. I still don't fancy my chances, to be honest. There's one abstaining. 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 5-5, 6-5. Oh, for Christ's sake. Why will nobody ever agree with me? Oh, complete waste of money. I almost want to restart this save file and not spend that $500,000, but we've done it now. We've learned our lesson. We're never doing it again. We're never ever paying for a vote again. It's pointless. completely and utterly pointless. Unless we have like 10 votes in hand, it's useless. Right, well, Eka did win last time out, so I suppose the least we can do is throw her a party. I think we actually got $500,000 for that event rather than paying $500,000. I don't know what that publicity porn was though. I guess we can find out by looking at the driver details. Increases marketability but reduces morale by 10. Okay. And we got $500,000 in the bank. So I think that's not a bad trade-off, to be fair. Considering how well we're doing at the moment, I don't mind taking that hit in morale. Right, we've got some new sponsors. I think we're still going to be going for Moose each race and targeting third. So I don't think any of them are going to be a target position we are particularly aiming for. So we may as well take the 300,000 up front, because we're unlikely to get any other money off those sponsors. So new gearbox is done. And I think we will draw a line under that. I don't see any point in spending too much more on the car. We may as well save for next year and just... I'm not sure how much prize money we're going to get either, so it'd be good to have as much in the bank as possible to try and safeguard the fact we can upgrade the HQ next year. So of course the new gearbox has got a huge boost on reliability, so there's really no work we have to do on that one. So you may as well switch the brakes. No, we'll stay on the... I guess we should do these two 75%ers. We're going on a law of averages. And then I think I will switch the performance from those brakes back to the gearbox though, because that gearbox hasn't actually, it's still actually worse than the two we've got already. Has the same potential as the great gearbox, but obviously has that boost of reliability initially. So there'll be the two gearboxes we use once they're up to a standard. And I think that's going to be everything. Reports, fuel efficiency. Just stop moaning, Monroe. We're top of the standings. You can't have expected that coming out of the dark as a reserve driver this season. You've got podiums, for goodness sake, Monroe. Just be happy with what you've got in your opening season. He's already turning into a little diva. Right, I think we're about ready then. So we will go with a Moose as per usual. And hope that we can get on the podium again. I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of parts. We may as well switch that gearbox to that one, as it's got a higher reliability. The great gearbox, I'm not particularly happy with running it with 66%. And I think all the other parts are the same as last time. So as per usual, I shall get practice underway and join you shortly for qualifying. Okay, into qualifying then, and a pretty average practice to be honest. 96% for Eck and 93% for Monroe. The practice sessions in this, unlike the Fire mod, just aren't long enough to get any decent running done. It doesn't really excuse the bad rating on the setup for Monroe, but just one of those tricky sessions. You have them sometimes, you got to deal with them. So we're going to try this time, although Eck has already caught someone up that's just come out of the pits. We're going to try and keep our guys out of traffic, because I think that is something that has been affecting us. And it's really difficult to tell, to be honest, without having a back-to-back, and every lap the driver does is different anyway, so I don't know that it's possible to know. As Eka goes over the line then with a 13.2, Monroe just a couple of less than a tenth behind Eka. And that's two pretty competitive lap times in terms of against each other anyway. But already it looks like then that difficulty setting might be setting in. Because this is back to where we were at the beginning of the season really, right at the back of the field. So it's not looking too good for us, to be honest. And is that 5%, that numerical 5 difference going to be enough to put us right to the back of the field? It looks like it's going to be. So we'll see how we race from here, but a bit of a reset. And part of me is already regretting changing that difficulty level. Maybe we're just not ready for this, but look, It's 1 lap in qualifying. Let's see what they do the second time round, and we'll see how we do in the race as well, of course. So we'll wait right up until the end of the session. Of course, as I said, we'll try and avoid traffic this time if we can. The thing with the traffic that I can't work out is I sometimes see our drivers go straight through other cars, which leads me to suggest that there's big differences in qualifying as opposed to during the race. I can't get my words out today. Really struggling. Hey look, it's just been the Christmas period. We've all eaten and drunk too much. It's a difficult time of year. Now the difficult thing when sending them out, of course, is they're not going to go... Yeah, I can use it. I was wondering whether we should use a second set of super softs. It'll be fine. Is that it takes a while to actually change the tyres over. So it's very difficult to know when they're actually going to go out, now that I think about it. To be honest, they seem in fairly open space. Well, Eka is. Munro's right in the middle of some traffic there. But we'll see how they go. Looking for a bit of an improvement. If they can push themselves towards sort of into the top 15, I would see that as a successful qualifying. I say these two series get so blurred, I can't remember where we've actually been qualifying the last few races. I'm pretty sure it's higher than this. So, but this is definitely where we were at the beginning of the season. And then all of a sudden we started doing incredibly well for no apparent reason. So it's been a very strange season all in all. But let's see if our guys can't find a few more temps. And see if Munro can challenge Eka. It's unlikely. But we'll see what they do. So Eka coming around the final couple of corners now. And she is going to improve by about 4 tenths of a second. That's good. Munro didn't improve at all. He was about 400ths slower than his best time. So Munro will line up 20th. Eka does improve to 15th, which was fairly competitive. That front sort of 10, 11, 12 cars are a long way ahead of us. Well, I'd say probably the top 7 or 8. And I don't know, is it just this track not suiting our car, whereas the last ones have? Or is this the difficulty increase? It's probably the difficulty increase. The thing I just can't work out is why we suddenly became so competitive almost overnight for the last 3 or 4 races. Not going to complain, but right, I'm pretty happy with reliability, so I'm happy to go with soft and race trim just to get the maximum performance increases. I'm pretty sure our reliability will be fine for this race, as it has been all season. Now, very hot out there, so there's going to be... The other thing actually is Munro 93% is the lowest setup I've had for quite a while, so that might explain some of the difference between those two. But yeah, it's going to be incredibly tough on tyres around here. So I think I'm going to start Eka on the soft tyres. Because there's a potential of a one-stop here, but not on if we start on super soft. So we're going to go softs for Eka. What are we expecting those? 14 to 16. We were talking recently about how I'm not using fuel very well and always end up with it at the end. So I might go a little bit under. Let's go 15 laps. And with Munro, to be honest though, that's affecting the fire mod more than this. But and let's put 17 laps. Yeah, I reckon he can save 17 laps over the course of. Or we just go a bit higher from the beginning. That's the other thing. I think we've been trying to look after the engine and gearbox too much when there's no real need. So let's go relatively aggressive and see what we can gain, shall we? I'm not expecting too much out of this race, let's be honest. I don't think we're owed it now, considering how the season's gone the last few races. So most of the top 10 on the super softs. Only a few drivers on the softs like Eka, and the rest right at the back are all on the medium tyres. Munro has made a big error into turn 1. It was a very linear path he took off there as a mistake. Didn't look like a genuine mistake at all, did it? But I guess that's the pathfinding they've put into this AI, or the mistake that they've programmed in. So we need to look after these tyres pretty quickly, I think. We're going to go on conserve and just see how well they look after them in these temperatures. Eka's made a fairly good start, although she's lost a few positions now. We'll stay on high fuel mode, I think. Because everybody, all the AIs, yeah, see, they're all on a major attack mode. And Monroe's got quite a gap to make up. He's 3 seconds off the tail of the field already. So, having a think through it then, I think if Eka can stay at the head of this group, and everybody else is on the super softs, I think Eka could do a one-stop strategy on the softs and the mediums, as long as these tyres hold up as advertised. So, if she can just keep pace with these guys, keep her tyres under control, then we should have an extra stop on those guys ahead. And considering the tyre advantage, they're not exactly disappearing into the distance, are they? Right, let's kick it up to 4 speed, because there's not going to be much that happens. Looks like tyre temps are under control and conserve. And we will keep pushing and just see if our engine and gearbox can hold up to this. I don't see why it can't, really. We have stock engines anyway, and our gearboxes are pretty high in reliability. So, and we put extra fuel in as well. So, see if this helps them stay ahead of the competition in Eka's case, and if Monroe can catch back up to the back of the field in the next 4 or 5 laps, that'll be good. He's already taken about half a second out of that gap then. Of course, everyone else in traffic, so he should be able to do it a bit quicker than just his pace would suggest, but he's already lost what he's gained again, and he's 3 seconds behind once again. Not a great race from Monroe's point of view. That mistake really a kick in the teeth, and Eka looking pretty comfortable in 11th then. So she's dropped about 3.5 seconds to the super soft runners ahead. And again, if those guys are going to be 2 stopping, they're going to need to be getting about a second a lap on us, and they're not doing that at the moment, which is good news. So tyre temps down a little bit on the soft tyres from Eka's car, which is surprising considering we'll go back up to neutral, so she has just lost that position to Batista. The tyre wear looks fairly equal to the other soft tyre runners. No, we can't make it to the end on that fuel, Eka. Clearly not. I'm going to go back to medium just because I think we may have put a bit too much fuel, gone a bit too much in the opposite extreme and taken too much fuel out. She needs to be going to about lap 15 if she can. And we only just have enough fuel to achieve that. So, tyre wear's looking good, especially on the medium tyres. So, I reckon if these guys put the super soft, put the mediums on after the super soft, they might be able to one-stop it actually. So I don't know that we're going to get all that much of an advantage here. But obviously it would help Eka if she can put the soft tyres on for the second stint. Because then she should be a bit quicker than those guys on medium. So sure enough, Surikov, Clark Smith, Cruz, they've all stopped to put on the medium tyre. I should think they probably, well, it'll be close, but I reckon they could get to the end on that. Considering we've done 11 laps already, and Monroe's at 55%. So they could definitely do 20 laps at a push. Eka, meanwhile, then, is massively overheating the tyres because I'm an idiot. But of course, we all knew that already, didn't we? We did indeed. We're going to go back to medium fuel on Monroe as well, because I think those mediums are going to go a lot further than I thought. He has now, well, I was going to say he just about caught the back of the field, but Lundqvist has now put one car between Monroe and the people that haven't stopped. So Eka should be able to do a few more laps here. If she can hit that magic 15 lap mark, then I'd be fairly confident. But she can do one more stop. I might have to put the mediums on just to be sure, I think. They're already pretty low. I think I took an extra lap or two out of them by overheating them. She's run out of fuel anyway, so I think it's going to have to be mediums to be sure, unfortunately. So there will be 17 laps to go after the fact. So I think we'll put just 17 laps of fuel in, then we've got a little bit to use if we need to. Excuse me. The other thing I've been thinking of is we don't normally factor in when it says add fuel. I always just presume that it means that's the amount of fuel they'll have, including what they've got in the tank, but that's not the case. It adds them together. I think that's why we keep over-fueling cars. It's a good stop from Eka, and she's back out in 19th place then. And I think her action will come later in the race, but all in all it's going okay for her. And it's sort of dropped into the fringes of the top 10, this difficulty change, and I think that is about what I expected it to do. So Monroe can probably do another lap after this and then come in, and I would say pretty confidently we'll be able to put on the soft tyres. Yeah, just go to low fuel just to make sure he gets round. So he can go to soft tyres, and you have 14 laps left. I'll put 15 in just so you can push it a little bit harder. But yeah, I think because I've been getting the first stint so wrong in terms of how much fuel I put in, that I've actually been topping up fuel on top of fuel, and that's why I've ended up with multiple laps at the end. Ah, sorry, my voice is really not up to it today. For some reason. It's always the way. I have been recording quite a bit today, to be fair. Alright, so Monroe in. Hopefully no mistakes here. And he can get back out. Probably behind Eka, I would have thought. He gets in between Eka and Kanjiro, though. That's a fairly successful stop, considering where Monroe is. Safety car. Where is Eka? 16th. 16th. I'm wondering if we stop Eka and put the soft tyres on. Got some time to decide. I mean, she's 16th anyway. She's only going to lose a couple of positions. Guys around her are all on soft tyres. Do we take track position? We have a lap to decide. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to stop later in this race, but we're also going to be on worse tyres. I don't know about this one. It's a risk. The problem I've got is that these guys at the back are all going to have new soft tyres, and it's going to be difficult to actually make them work early on. I'm going to take the risk. Let's do it. I don't think we can go super softs. No. Let's go soft tyres. It's going to have an excess of fuel, so it can go aggressive. We may as well try it, I feel. Because we're a long way from the points today. As expected, we might as well try something a little different. It'll be a fairly quick stop, as there's no fuel, and we'll actually come out just behind Monroe then. So it didn't actually turn Monroe's fuel up there, which is interesting. Let's go up to 12 speed. Let's get the safety car period out of the way. There's a bit of a get out of jail free card though for quite a few people in the grid who hadn't stopped, but have now made their second stop and lost a lot less than they would have done. So that's a shame, because they were positions we were fighting for, a few of them. Of note, Letien, I think Serikov would have been around about where we were as well. So, hey ho, we got some fuel on board, we got the soft tyres on. As I say, the thing I'm a little worried about is the fact we've got 3 guys ahead of us that are all on soft tyres as well. So once we get through those, we've got people that we should be quicker than, at least at the beginning of this stint. So, Monroe and Eka coming under a bit of pressure from Kanjiro here. And they need to get a move on if they can. And Kanjiro's just gone straight past. That's not good. Let's go on to full speed then. So these tyres don't have to go quite as far. So I can probably be a bit more aggressive. At least the early part of the stint. I don't think I'm quite confident enough to go up to push though. And then we're going to try and use up that excess fuel then. They've got quite a bit more than they need. So we've got a couple of laps of overtake in there as well, probably. Especially from Monroe, but they're just not making any progress. They don't have the speed. They really don't have the speed. And this, and now they're overheating the tyres. This is an appalling race. That difficulty setting has hit us a lot harder than I thought it was going to. I guess we did change it by 5, which was quite a drastic change. But even so, it really made us start to struggle. I think we are slowly catching back up though to the fields. There might be some chance of some late moves here. I think we're going to be anywhere near close enough for points though. Not that we really need them at this point. So I don't think we're not going to win the championship. Let's be quite frank about that from the offset. So we have caught up to the back of this pack, and we can still see the top 10. So there's I didn't I didn't mean that. So let's see how they do. They've got the tyres. They've got the fuel. I'm fairly confident these tyres will get it to the end, so we can probably go to neutral at the very least. It's just because it's so hot out there, I don't want to do push because it might just destroy them. Eka's finally got past a teammate though. They're still going to wheel, even as they pass Nahez. And Nahez gets back past the pair of them, almost. I feel the overtaking this is a little unrealistic sometimes. But, and there goes Eka again then. Eka seems to have... Well, she seems to be quicker, and then every time she gets past, she gets taken back again. Now, the 3 cars ahead have got much less tyre life left. We've got plenty of excess fuel, so let's go into overtake mode for a lap or 2. Ooh, and that's done the engine in, 12%. From Monroe, so that's the end of him pushing. So it's all on Eka. And our reliability, which I've completely forgotten about because I thought we'd be fine. But this is why I don't push. And I guess I should just put less fuel in. I guess that's my problem. It's really hurting us. And I've hated this race. I've hated everything about it. It's not gone well. Eka making up some late positions here, but it's not going to be anywhere near good enough to make up for the abysmal race we've had. And knowing my luck, she's just going backwards again. I hate the AI in this. They seem so stupid at times. Like, they'll make a move and then they'll just gift it back to the very next corner by not even defending. It's very reminiscent of the old Motorsport Manager. They weren't called that, I've been through this before, but the old Motorsport Manager type games like Grand Prix World, Grand Prix 2, etc. Oh, Eka ran out of fuel over the line. Good. That was abysmal. Look at the state of Lundqvist. What a trooper. She's come through for a win with a black eye and a neck brace. Good job, girl. Good job. Yeah, where the AI just... They're on such a predetermined path that you can't take too much notice of what's going on track. It's similar with Football Manager games. When you see the 3D readout of that, it's all predetermined and done by the numbers. It doesn't feel like you're watching a real football match. Same with the racing here sometimes, but to be honest, they do a better job than Formula 1, than Football Manager. So Monroe and Eka 15th and 17th. Just like my voice, we're cracking at the final hurdle. No points means that Eka drops to 3rd, then Munro to 9th. We're still top of the tree though, but that gap has been cutting like 4/5 as we lose 10 points, and we've now got only a 3-point advantage over VLAN Racing. So I guess my question is this: that was a huge difference from the last race, just by altering it by 5 in the difficulty. Bear in mind the Haas career mode, I did check, was actually still playing on the original difficulty, so, and that's been challenging enough. So have we just raced well? And I feel this was the annoying Motorsport Manager race of old. I've really enjoyed the last few races because strategies have played out and we've been competitive. And this game is much more enjoyable when that happens. So let me know, guys, do you think we should go back to the original difficulty or leave it as it is? It's almost certainly going to add a couple of seasons on to the series in terms of how long it takes us to get promoted. But you know, I've always bowed to you guys, so just let me know what you guys think, if we should change the difficulty back or leave it on this level. As always, if you did enjoy the video, then do hit that like button. In terms of episodes this week, I always said before Christmas it was going to be slow, only a couple of videos this week. There will be a fire mod Haas video probably tomorrow. I've recorded half of the podcast with Rage. We're doing the other half tomorrow, so that should be out either Saturday or Sunday. And then from Monday, the 1st January, I will tell you guys all about the new plans for the channel, and there'll be plenty more racing stuff coming up. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again next time.